And we're live. Um, so hello all 2.5 people watching us. Uh, we are going to discuss the topic of Al Marjan Island today. Al Marjan Island is not in Dubai. It's in United Arab Emirates, but it's in a different emirate of Ras Al Khaimah. We're not going to dive deep today in the specifics of their land department and how deals are made and the cost calculations, but we will discuss the island itself and its general investment potential and just talk about what it's all about. So it will be fairly in depth. It's going to be a long analysis. We'll be talking through a number of points. And to start with, so what is it? It's a man-made island, just like the Palm Islands, like the World Islands, like the Dubai Islands. It's supposed to look either like a seahorse or it's supposed to look like corals. I heard both versions. And it's hard to tell which one it is intended to be, but it's an archipelago of 4 islands, all connected to each other and to mainland via bridges. Once again, it's in Ras Al Khaimah. We will talk what this emirate is about as well. We'll discuss that. So, what is Ras Al Khaimah, or RAK, as it's usually abbreviated and used even officially in the government? So it's 45 minutes away from Dubai. It's the most northern emirate, which makes it the coolest. Not the coolest as in like the coolest, but the coolest as in temperature. So sorry, yeah. The big difference nature-wise is it's much more diverse than, let's say, Abu Dhabi and Dubai. It does have the standard mangroves, it has some stretches of desert, but it also is the home to most of the mountains in the UAE. And that comes with ability to be 15 minutes away from cooling off if it's too hot. It comes with ability to do hiking, do all the action sports. People go skydiving there, people go zip lining, everything really. So, looking at their real estate market, a bit more to the point. You can see it's 15% growth. And residential prices in Ras Al Khaimah obviously much lower than in Dubai and much lower than in Abu Dhabi, but that's on average, all right? When we're talking Al Marjan Island, we're talking still a lower price than you would look at on Saadiyat Island or you will have at Palm. It's much lower than the headliners of both Abu Dhabi and Dubai, but it's not cheaper than a budget accommodation in Dubai. It's not a path for you to have cheaper real estate. It's a path for you to have real estate with more growth potential, because as we'll discuss later, it has all the chances of being the next big landmark. You see, the hospitality is where they really, really, really pushing it, and they're opening a lot of new hotel rooms, and it's backed up by region's marketing investment and region's investment into the airports and infrastructure. It's backed up by ever increasing amounts of tourists coming to Ras Al Khaimah. Rock Properties is the main developer there, and they are owned by Ras Al Khaimah government, essentially. But obviously other developers would be building there as well, although it has to be a joint venture. It has to be in collaboration with Rock Properties, as they are essentially have an internal rule of somewhat a monopoly. Although, as I understand, nicely reputable developers will just purchase land of Rock Properties and will develop land as they see fit, with obviously some reasonable approvals. So you can see real estate transactions are really, really, really been growing. The absolute peak we can see is in 2022, but you can see there's a number of peaks coming up regularly, and that means the market there is growing, the market there is trending up. Once again, if we're looking into investment potential, we need to look into short-term rent data. You can see there are two graphs. There is total rooms occupied and occupancy rate. As you can see how much the graphs diverge in the last, honestly, few months. It's because they have released a lot of new rooms to the hotels, and they built new hotels in the region. But you can see it's not impacting the occupancy rate. Occupancy rate is still following the market growth, which is a very healthy sign. That's actually extremely rare. Usually you would see that your occupancy rate would go down as when you get new rooms onto the market. You will see that market usually needs to catch up to the new hotels, but here it looks like there's a lot of potential demand, and I think it's one of the best ways to really gauging if it's worth investing here, thinking about short-term rent, thinking about resale for people looking for short-term rent in the future. Because if you think about that, even if you're not planning to rent, if you plan to buy off plan and sell it on delivery, let's say, and realize your profits then, it's all right. It's not a biggest issue there. First of all, it's fairly easy, but the guy buying from you will be an investor as well, and will be thinking just the way you would be thinking about investing into the market, and seeing that there's so much potential demand for it makes it really, really interesting. So honestly, Ras Al Khaimah is a stunning place. I go there at least once a month. So there's Jebel Jais mountain. That's the tallest mountain in UAE and full of entertainment options. Um, there's a lot of historical villages around to visit and to enjoy local culture as well. Um, Obviously, the Al Marjan Island itself will be a huge attraction to the region. And if you're a person who doesn't want to have just the party like you would probably expect from Dubai, I think um, this region has incredible potential to realize there. Incredible potential for more well-rounded kind of vacation. So um so I took this information directly, but Joyce Mini Golf and Joyce Wings are completed. Wynn Resorts been announced and has a solid date. Most of the things are signed. We will discuss later the things which are in place already and things which are to be worked out by the local developers, businesses, and government. Um, so, important bit for me is they are growing sustainably, so they're not necessarily rushing to grow as fast as they possibly can. They're growing sustainably. And for you as an investor, it's good. It's good because they're avoiding severe, sharp spikes in demand, which means they're not creating a bubble there. And obviously, sustainability is important, very important consideration for such a big infrastructure project as the one we're discussing today. So that's the project. The Al Marjan Island itself. Um, it's all about beachfront entertainment. It's all about maximizing the beachfront area while still retaining enough of a land area to have sociable and fully developed spaces. As you can see there, those are the four islands there. On the top right, you can see four distinct islands. And you can tell that the thinking here is those four islands, they should be specialized. Uh, so if we look into the four islands, the Breeze Island is actually mostly developed. It has a mix of hotels and residences. Some are fairly old, some are a little more new. Um, so the promenade there is taking shape as well. So that will be the main kind of social gathering area. That's where you would get out for a dinner with a family or just for a walk. Um, so Treasure Island is supposed to be family friendly. Um, so that will be the place if you're staying with a family. That will be the place to hang out in. It will have children's focused entertainment there present. Dream Island for yachting enthusiasts within you, and I worked with that industry, and I mean, if you really like to spend that amount of money, I mean, who am I to stop you? Um, Yacht marina there should be incredible, should be great, should be. It should have the most luxurious kind of promenade. If you want a Michelin-starred restaurant, I think that's where you would be going once it's developed. And the View Island is the party island. That's where you go to get to get your drinks, to dance out, to get out. Less family friendly, but it's great to have next to you. It's a very fun. It should be a very fun place, and we'll see later why. So you can see that we can see the treasure, the view, the breeze, and so islands are separated into this kind of archipelago, and you can see they are connected fairly well, especially where emirates are concerned. It's here, especially older developments, you would see sometimes don't have the most efficient layout of the roads and the transport connections, where this one does. I think it's important thing to consider as well, because that improves the sociability of the space, and this is something we also looking into when we say to our clients, is it a good project, is it not? We try to analyze everything, and we try to encourage investors and our clients to make their research, to do their research as well, because sometimes the market might shift and we need to come up with a new plan. And if we have an investor who's well aware of what said person invested into, it's so much faster and quicker to come up with a game plan where we're still making the projected profits, where we're still making the successful exit out of the project. So let me for a second talk about the casino, because we're about to talk about the casino, and it's a very touchy topic for Middle East, because you understand that local culture and religion does not look favorably onto gambling. So we need to understand that having a project featuring first casino in the Middle East ever in its history is a fine line for them to walk. And if you look into all the literature, they never say the word gambling. The only thing they say is gaming. So there's also now legal ban on gambling in UAE. So that regulation needs to be changed, and the exception still to be made out to Al Marjan Island. Although the way things are, it's a sure thing. It's just if they want to launch such a new thing for the region, they need to work out all the details. They need to work out all the regulations around it. How are people allowed in there? What kind of gambling they allow? Is there any safeguards for people not to gamble away their savings? They're considering all of that, and they want to come out with the legal and regulatory code, which is applicable to the region, to the culture, and well developed for the modern times. So right now they're not even talking about it as gambling, they're talking about it as gaming. So do have a look at that and keep your eye out. They might have their own twist on gambling, which is also a cool idea. Maybe they will come up with something very innovative. And if we look, um, the casino itself will be run by Wynn Resorts, and Wynn Resorts, uh, well, they have experience. They have a lot of experience in casinos. They have casinos in Macau. They have casinos in Las Vegas. They're one of the industry's leaders, if not the number one leader in the industry and the trendsetter. So if anybody knows how to do that right, it's those guys. So as you can see, there's a full list of Wynn properties as of now. There's two of them in Macau, two in Las Vegas. There's also Wynn Palace in Macau. The third one, oh, that's in Macau as well. I mean, okay, fair enough. Macau is a big gambling place. You might as well open just 3 casinos. Why not? And unexpectedly one in Massachusetts. It puzzles me. I'm not judging. I'm just confused. Why is that necessary? Why is that a valuable investment? But I know nothing about the region, so not gonna make myself look any stupider. Anyway, whew. Sorry, let me. So that's what they are presenting right now as a main Wynn Resorts rendering. The way it looks to me, it will be kind of connecting the Views Island with Marina, which is a cool idea where you have all the luxury and kind of high-end image-focused amenities on one side, but you have all the kind of continue the party Las Vegas style amenities on the other. If that's the way it's going to be, it's a very smart move. The problem is because the topic is so touchy and Ras Al Khaimah is not the most transparent in how they develop in the island just yet, because I don't think they have every plan in place yet, but they don't want to, scare off investors potentially by saying, oh, by appearing like they don't know what they're doing. And trust me, they know what they're doing. They've been doing successful business before Dubai or Abu Dhabi ever did. They were historically the richest emirate. So they had all the businesses selling figs, doing trading ports, and all of that before UAE, when they were an independent emirate. Right now, this area is a bit of a wild west, but that's where the profits come in, right? The casino, and before we switch to the casino, from the casino, let me just tell you that once they're launching the residences there, that's going to be pandemonium. I'm guaranteeing you, all the residences that are selling on an off plan and launching in Wynn Resorts will be gone in 24 hours. And not everyone who applied will get one. We dealt with very popular projects before, and I mean, if you're somebody looking to invest into that, if you're somebody looking to do something about that and to get onto that, I would suggest you talk to us, or maybe you already have a broker and you will talk to that broker. I'm not judging, I'm just upset then. Okay, fair enough. But I hope you get in touch with us as soon as possible. It's okay that you're not buying something right now. We'll be happy to work with you and to work out a plan. put this plan on ice and wait for announcement. Keep you updated. Keep updating you with anything changing there. Keep working with you to refine the plan and refine what your portfolio is going to be, what your investment strategy is going to be. Or maybe you want to go international. It's one of the international ones. I mean, we do have great network of trusted partners across the globe, and we can always point you to the right direction. We can always help to negotiate with our partners in order to get you the correct property for your portfolio as well. So if you're aiming for casino itself, because it will be selling the residences, that is very hard to get. You need to start working on that yesterday, really. But going back to our presentation, I mean, I'll mention there's many more projects announced, but I'm mentioning the 3 projects which are great and which are developed by developers and managers with proven backgrounds, which are the highlights of what we've seen so far announced on the island. Most of them are technically sold out, but there will be more sales and they will release more places for sale. So that's also where you can go with us. So also, some people cancel their orders. It happens all the time. You need just to hang tight and wait for the right cancellation and work with your agency to get it. So, number 1 is Danah Bay. This one is a fairly large one. It has as you can see, it's very much a more relaxed one. And it has a good mix of apartments, townhouses, and villas. So it will be a fully contained development with a lot of infrastructure, with any kind of property you would need, and with diverse cast of residents, which will make it all that much better, and it will be wellness focused. So as far as I understand, it will have state-of-the-art spa. It will have absolutely next-level gyms, because you get into the Dubai building and you read about, I have a gym in my building, and okay, fair enough. Coming from a fat guy, hilarious him discussing gyms, but I still lift once in a while, okay? And the gyms in Dubai houses, and most of them are pretty rudimental. They're just the basics. They're not really the gyms you would find signing up to the gym for money, right? Obviously, it's a bit more congested. It's a little less equipped. Where I assume here, if you look into their projects and if you talk to their management, they promise that this one will have state-of-the-art facilities. It will be something which exceeds the market expectation in that regard. And obviously, the all-important looks. You can see it looks pretty good. I mean, the problem is, I see new releases all the time, and I'm hard to impress. And but this one is genuinely just good looking, and the important bit, it will be good looking 10 years from now. It doesn't look like something too much of a futuristic design, because those designs which are too much, they sometimes they don't age well. Where here it's modern, it's a lot of glazing, it's definitely the modern technology, but it's not trying too hard, so it's gonna be something very sustainable. Once again, it's gonna be something trading well 10 years and after it's completed, 20 years after it's completed. It's not gonna be looking like that old building which looked really futuristic a while ago. Um, so here it's rendering is not quite correct, but you can see exact black spot on the island. That's where it's gonna be. Um, it's not far from the airport, really, from Ras Al Khaimah airport, from Dubai airport. And a good point about Ras Al Khaimah airport is another thing they're really focusing on is private aviation. So if you're aviation enthusiast, or maybe you're planning to get or have a private jet, I mean, they promise they're gonna be the place to be. And once again, mountains are nearby, so if you like your light aircraft or um, single engine aircrafts, it's a beautiful place to explore. Um, and it's a place which makes regulation, keeping your plane, taxes, so much more simple than most places. Anyway, so once again, here are some main points. Uh, so of course, project area, a lot of beaches. 4-star hotel. I mean, it's not gonna be ultra luxury hotel, right? But 4-star upper scale hotel means you will have good enough amenities for daily use, or whoever you rent it out to, and it's gonna be accessible because when you leave, let's say in Atlantis the Royal, which is like very high end 5-star hotel. Um, when you live in a hotel like that, I mean, everything is too much commitment. All the restaurants you got there require you to dress up, and they're very much all out. The bars there have huge queues and hard to get into. And yeah, it's very cool for a week, but it's definitely not a long term vacation or vacation living kind of lifestyle place. So the luxury townhouses and villas mean that there's still going to be high expectation of amenities, which they will meet. And why would they? Because it's developed by Dubai Investments. Dubai Investments are the guys who built the Palm, who built the St. Regis Palm, who built the Atlantis. They are good at what they do. Everything they deliver is great, although sometimes a little hard to get your hands onto. Once again, this one will be a struggle to purchase, actually, which honestly annoys me just as much as it might annoy you, if not more. But anyway, this one is the one I would rank number one so far. But there's a couple more in there to mention. So the next one is Oceano. Oceano is Emirati homegrown hotel chain. Um, Quality with those hotels is always good. They're well known internationally. Um, so this one is residential development, and it's not very big. You see only 206 units. It's going to be pretty exclusive, and the resort-like amenities. What that means is you're not gonna have hotel rooms. You're not gonna have just a hotel. You know, you will have people residing there at least relatively long term. But it will still have the features of a hotel, and that makes it kind of the best of two worlds in that regard. Um, so you can see it's very much modern architecture, very much what's popular, but once again, not too much. And you can see by the amount of public areas, by the amount of land they're using, it's gonna, it is pretty premium. It is pretty expensive, but um, private beach just for the residents. A high floor infinity pool. I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Um, it has all the things you would expect from top tier development. And once again, Oceano are very much a well renowned network. Um, this is one of those projects which are, I would expect, would perform to the highest level. And now on to something a little bit simpler. This one is on the aging side. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna be lying to you saying, "Oh, that's cutting edge and it's mind blowing," but this is very affordable, and this is a kind of more traditional neo Arabic style. Neo Arabic style. I'm sorry, my pronunciation is not great today. It's not great ever, but today is especially bad. Anyway, so this is a very inexpensive entry point into the market. Um, Not much to talk about that one. Um, Honestly, the last one I just included to show you that there's some more affordable options where you can have it for same price as inexpensive Dubai flat, and it and unlike in Dubai, it's gonna be beachfront. Unlike Dubai, it's gonna be having some growth potential because a lot of places in Dubai, like JVC, they're not as guaranteed growth potential. There's no big grand plan of what they're gonna do with it. Where Al Marjan Island is very special in that regard. Um, it's extremely well thought through project, and even those older developments, they will provide great entry level kind of living for that specific area, and having those projects means that you can always get into that project and maybe graduate in the future once you collected money from both rental and realize some value growth. Because the beauty of that, you buy it today, you start renting tomorrow, and your rent is only going to go up. It's only going to go up and up and up. because it's very much an up and coming area. Everybody talking about it, and quite frankly, let's look at this realistically. It's gonna be the first casino in Middle East, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the only one because Abu Dhabi wants to be more family friendly. Abu Dhabi is very much focused on retaining the culture as well. Um, not not as if Ras Al Khaimah isn't finding retaining the emirate culture important, but Abu Dhabi believes they are expected to lead in that regard. So that's out of the question. Dubai, I mean, if you add a casino to Dubai, the place is gonna explode. So not literally, but it's gonna be too much. It's first of all, second of all, Ras Al Khaimah is just 40 minutes drive from Dubai. If you want to go to casino, you can take a 40-minute drive. Who would build two casino areas 40 minutes away from each other? Because one, it will be more developed, and you would rather take a drive to Wynn resorts than go into one which is still developing. So in Emirates, it's going to be definitely the only casino, and I'm pretty sure no other country in the Middle East would have a casino at this point, at least. This means it will be attractive to so many people because, um, tourists from Asia, tourists from Africa, tourists from Europe, they all kind of meet in this point of UAE. UAE is positioned so well logistically that it attracts a lot of people just by that virtue. And honestly, you're flying through UAE, let's say you're changing flights in Dubai. What stops you from spending 2 days in casino? Nothing. It will have a steady year-round supply of clients. It's not going to be as seasonal as, let's say, the beachfront resorts. It's not going to be as dependent on a season for your short-term rent, and that's where all these extra realized profits going to come in, because peak season still going to cost you the peak season, but summer will not cost like summer. It will cost more around the area, and there will be so many short-term rentals for a day or two because you don't account for internal tourism, and internal tourism in the Middle East is massive, and not everybody living in the Middle East is Middle Eastern, obviously. So when you're thinking about this place, I need you to understand that the casino launches in 2027. And right now, it's just mostly a bunch of sand in a puddle, right? You come there today, you're not going to be well impressed. There's not really anything to see there right now, but that is not important because right now, people are talking about it, but it's not widely discussed topic. It's still kind of a niche investment. And I don't believe it's going to be niche for long. I really believe in that success. Um, Let me check if we get in any. Okay, we're not getting any comments, I think. But I will be happy to answer any questions if anybody's viewing. People who watch it as a something pre-recorded. If you're watching it pre-recorded, if you're watching it after the recording, I mean, drop a comment. Our social media team will get the questions out to me. We're always happy to interact. Um, once again, this one is no questions. It's high risk investment compared to, let's say, getting an address apartment in downtown. Address in downtown always gonna be rented well, always gonna cost fair amount of money, always gonna be stable. But we're talking this 6-8% a year return on investment. We're talking Marjan Islands, we're talking risks, we're talking tying up your funds for solid 3-4 years, but it's gonna be much higher return on investment. Once it's coming through, and all the risks have passed, and everybody knows it's gonna be a casino, and the laws are passed, and the casino is nearly built, and you can see it from while driving, and you can see all the developments rising. It's gonna be obvious. It's a good place, and all the growth are gonna be realized. Right now, you need to be looking into the potential, and you need to be diving into those projects and reading about them in depth. Um, we are constantly doing our research. I mean, uh, one of the big points of my agency is I think half of their time our agents are spending in training, looking into new developments. We're constantly looking into new areas. We're constantly looking into different developers. We're constantly looking into new projects. And every time anything new being announced, we're having a deep dive. We're asking questions. We're talking with the management. And that's why I'm talking about less obvious investment opportunities, because those are the ones uh, which I believe need to be highlighted, and the ones which need to be explored. Um, those are the ones where all the growth is happening, because all the profit, it comes from what they call in economics asymmetric information, or as a normal human would say, you know it more than the guy next to you, right? And that's what we provide. I think that's the biggest service we can provide to our clients as an agency. So honestly, those streams, they're coming in as kind of ramping as a way for us to ramp up, because I hope in the future it will be much more interactive, and we can actually sit down, talk with people, and get all those in-depth questions. Um, Obviously, it's just a second stream we're ever making, so it's not gonna have a lot of buzz around it. We are barely promoting it as well. Uh, but I think this one will be a fairly short one. I've actually achieved not going on too much of a tangent this time, which is impressive. Well, in my mind, it's impressive. That's something I struggle with, and I think that's gonna be a wrap for us, because uh, honestly, Marjan Island is still a little bit of an enigma, and I hoped I could get more information, but I spent a whole week researching, and there's not much to be found really just yet, because everybody's still working through how that's gonna work and how that's gonna operate. Whoever was the audience, you're a great audience, although silent or non existent. Either is not great, but still. Um, we'll be wrapping up our stream. Hopefully, it's enjoyable to watch. Hopefully, I'm not too incomprehensible and not rambling too much. Until next Thursday, I think, where we're gonna be doing another breakdown, and hopefully, we will announce some streams with other professionals from the industry by the early next week.